Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And that breaking news just in from Detroit's West Side, where police are searching for a missing 16-year-old girl and her 6-month-old baby. Shamari and her daughter, Kylie Germany, were last seen around 4 this afternoon on Collingwood Street, just west of the Lodge. Police say she left the area with a male friend. Their disappearance comes after the teenager attended a CPS hearing where she was ordered to return to Indiana, where she lives with her mother. Anyone with information, contact Detroit police.
We are kicking off the weekend with wind chills now in the teens.
Yeah, but changes are coming. Brandon Rue is in for Ben. And Brandon, how much longer do we have to deal with the cold here?
We have to be patient as we start the weekend. We're going to see quite a difference, though, as we transition you through the weekend. Live shot here in Ann Arbor, and yes, we have these temps in the lower 20s, even 19 right now in Adrian, and still have these winds 7 to 15 miles an hour, creating wind chills single digits and barely into the teens. If you're going to be out and about for an hour or so this evening, you'll need to prepare for that. 18 officially overnight. Couple of snowflakes and snow showers as we see here. Just light stuff. This is the darker blues up near Traverse City, Grayling, over into southern Ontario as well. That's where the heavier lake effect streamers are. We're on the lighter side, but still a few snow showers out there this late evening and early overnight. For the weekend, though, again, patience, because low 30s turning into the 40s, maybe mid 40s on Sunday with lots of weekend sunshine, guys. We do have even warmer numbers in the 7-day coming up.
All right, more from Brandon here a little bit later on, but now to other news tonight. More people coming forward alleging abuse by a former doctor at the University of Michigan.
Dr. Robert E. Anderson died in 2008, but between 1968 and 2003, he saw countless athletes. Many of them are continuing to contact the university with complaints of abuse. And now we're learning about incidents outside of the university. Jason Colthorpe is in the newsroom with the latest. Jason, good evening.
Good evening, Kimberly. Those explosive new allegations say that Anderson helped young men avoid the Vietnam War in exchange for sexual favors. This is the number of potential victims who have contacted U of M jumped from 71 to 100.
Everybody who was abused by this doctor, the doctor everyone knew was doing this.
One day after 3 former wrestlers came forward, the number of abuse cases against Dr. Robert Anderson reported to the U of M hotline has jumped to 100. Tad DeLuca, a wrestler at Michigan from 1972 to 76, is considered the whistleblower in this case.
The guy had a bum shoulder and Dr. Anderson gave him the glove.
Getting the glove was how U of M athletes often referred to Anderson's unnecessary genital and rectal exams. DeLuca says he wrote 2 letters alerting U of M brass and was ignored. One in 2018 to athletics director Ward Manuel and one in 1975 to his wrestling coach Bill Johansson. He says he was kicked off the team, had his scholarship revoked, and the coach read embarrassing excerpts from the letter to the rest of the team.
How do you feel about him today?
You can't call him a coach. A coach is a term of endearment.
But by phone tonight, Johansson adamantly denied DeLuca's story. First, he says no one ever made a formal complaint to him in his 8 years as coach. Second, DeLuca was a walk-on who was dismissed for missing practices. And third, Johansson himself saw Anderson as an athlete and nothing inappropriate ever happened.
Meantime, the Detroit Free Press reports 3 separate men have come forward to them alleging that Anderson was widely known in the late 60s to offer letters to men stating they were gay to get them out of the Vietnam War. In return, those men were expected to watch or have sexual contact with the doctor. Kimberly?
Yeah, just awful. So, Jason, any update from the school districts where he may have worked?
Yeah, there were 2 we told you about yesterday. We heard from Ann Arbor Public Schools today. The superintendent there saying they found no evidence that Anderson ever worked or gave exams in that district. The Flint School District also looking into this, still investigating.
Okay, more to come for sure. All right, Jason, thanks. Suspected serial killer Kenyell Brown has died. On Monday, a tip led police to Brown, who was later found in the backyard of an Oak Park home. As police closed in, Brown shot himself in the head. He was wanted in connection to 6 murders in a month's time in both River Rouge and Detroit, as well as 2 carjackings. His family has now started the process of donating his organs.
Oakland County's first recreational marijuana operation is opening on March 14th, and the greenhouse in Walled Lake is expecting thousands for that occasion. Mara McDonald live tonight. Mara, we have reported the majority of Oakland County communities have been opting out, but not Walled Lake.
That's right, Devin, not Walled Lake. And you know, the greenhouse started there as a medical marijuana provisioning center. Now they've got the rec license and they're building up to make that happen. And I spoke to the mayor of Walled Lake tonight, and she said their experience with this has been a good one.
Here you go. First look.
The greenhouse in Walled Lake is prepping for what is likely going to be a crowd of thousands on March 14th. The new addition will be ready to accommodate all those recreational users, while another existing entrance will be for their medical clientele.
When we first decided to open the greenhouse, our slogan was, we have to pass the grandma test. I want to make sure that if my grandmother needs cannabis, she feels comfortable.
Which is why the aesthetic look of the place is exposed brick and beams, and why Millen and his partners are setting up a heated 4,000 square foot tent the day their business starts to service everybody.
We're going to have Detroit Barbecue's going to be out here. Mac Shack will be here. We'll be giving away free mac and cheese. Detroit Mini Donuts, free donuts all morning, free coffee. We're going to feed you. We're going to warm you up. And we're going to have 10 to 12 vendors
to educate you on what is what in the world of weed.
This is not your grandma's weed. Or this is not the weed you smoked in 1970s.
A lot of planning is in place here. No surprise to Walled Lake Mayor Linda Ackley, who says the greenhouse has been a good neighbor.
They've taken a building that was in very, very poor shape, and they put hundreds of thousands of dollars into it and have revamped it, and it's unique. When you see other provisioning centers on television, they don't look like the greenhouse.
Back here live, Millen says the plan is to let about 20 recreational customers in at a time. They know they're going to have a lot of people out here. He says he doesn't want to have people lined up like cattle, so they're going to try something that no one's tried yet, which is having an online queue, meaning you give your phone number and they text you when it's your turn to go in. March 14th. We're live downtown tonight. I'm Mara McDonald. Back to you.
We'll be covering it. All right, Mara. Well, ready or not, we are officially in construction season in Metro Detroit. Take a look. These are live pictures of the work underway on a pedestrian bridge over I-75 between 8 and 9 Mile roads. At the top of the hour, crews began closing both directions of I-75 from 8 Mile up to 696. Continuing north from there, the northbound lanes will be closed from 696 all the way to Square Lake Road. The closures are expected to last until 5 a.m. Monday.
Well, tonight there are now at least 3 cases of coronavirus with unknown origins.
The CDC confirming an older adult woman in Northern California has tested positive for the virus. The woman is the second patient with the illness who has not traveled overseas and has not had exposure to another known patient. Another case in Northwest Oregon has been reported with the patient having no known history of travel to countries severely affected by the outbreak. Fears about the virus once again led to stocks falling, leaving Wall Street with its worst week since October of 2008.
All eyes will be on South Carolina this weekend. Home grounds for one Kimberly Gill. As voters there head to the polls tomorrow, could be a make-or-break contest for former Vice President Joe Biden. The latest poll shows Biden with a 20-point lead in the Palmetto State as he tries to win his first contest of the primary season. After South Carolina, 14 states go to the polls in just 4 days. That's Super Tuesday next week, including California, Texas, Minnesota, and Virginia. Tuesday, by the way, is also the first time Michael Bloomberg will be appearing on a ballot. Tonight, another candidate announces they're going to be in Metro Detroit when the results roll in on Super Tuesday. Senator Elizabeth Warren will be holding an event at Eastern Market in Detroit. That will be Tuesday. 7:15 p.m. Yesterday, Pete Buttigieg announced a town hall event on Super Tuesday in Macomb County, and we are now 10 days away from the Michigan primary.
Yep. Well, still ahead, dozens of police cruisers spend most of the night chasing a stolen ambulance.
Now the chase finally ended after nearly 2 hours.
I'm dead. And she was driving down the highway when she thought her life was over. What she did moments after driving off a cliff that saved her life.
Also, they used to be a big part of society. They've almost become extinct. The story behind this that's called a payphone. And it just popped up in a local neighborhood. It's uniquely Detroit. Next.